Two dudes with attitudes, let's go. Welcome to the pod every Wednesday, back to represent. Two dudes with attitudes, yeah, here comes the main event. Every week it's the dudes from the east and the west, breaking down everything you've seen and the best of the best. Came together on TikTok, hit it off from the jump, now they never gon' stop. Shooting Star, PRS, you can hit the follow. My wrestling opinion is someone you should all know, and they call him MWO. Yeah, it's rich on the flow, and I thought you should know. Two dudes in the mood that be dropping the jewels. This is not for the fools, this is just how we do. Talking WWE, no one is touching the team. Cool, calm, collected, the methods will be. You can hit the 5 stars when it's time to rate on whatever platforms. Two dudes, get it straight, yeah.
What's going on, Two Dudes with Attitudes, a wrestling podcast. What's going on, Two Dudes Wolfpack? As always, I'm the dude of Wrestle Talk, Mr. MWO. And with me on our special early Thanksgiving WWE edition is Sami Zayn's better-looking twin, the honorary dude, Shooting Star Press. What's going on, my man?
Not much. Just 2 years in a row, Sami Zayn's been in the War Games match at Survivor Series, so he's doing something right.
Yeah. I mean, last year, nothing really happened, right? Nothing. Oh, wait, that's right. It was like the turn of the century where Sami kicks KO into oblivion. So I have that poster behind me. Actually, you can't see it, but yeah, the Survivor Series War Game poster is right behind me on my wall.
Yeah.
It's too high up. I need to lower it. Maybe I should put it, I don't know. But yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's so exciting week. Exciting week.
It is.
In WWE. War Games.
It is.
I'm usually not a fan of Survivor Series, but this one feels different for some reason.
Yeah,
the last 2 years.
Yeah, but I'm still bummed because I'm not getting a Survivor Series match, like not one. Like, did the women's have to be in a cage? Couldn't that be a Survivor Series match?
Yeah.
I don't know. I like Survivor. I like the Survivor Series match. Like I said before, I think we talked about this last year. Are we full circle in a year now? We were on this a year ago, right?
Yeah, we're
So I really enjoy when they had, it was good guy, bad guys. You'd pair up some people, they would wrestle, and then all the survivors of all those matches would wrestle at the end, and like the sole survivor match where it was good guy versus bad guys, whoever survived, and they wrestled in a Survivor Series match of like who is the champ of Survivor Series. And sometimes they would have like Undertaker and Hogan at the end or something like that. But I don't know. I don't mind War Games, but you know how I feel about that. It's just too much going on. You can't see in the cage. You're trying to follow action, and I love that we'll talk about soon. They're fighting over who has, first ups or whatever. Who has? It's never an advantage, and at the end, you can't pin until everyone's in anyway. So what? But they're going to be so beat up by then. Well, not if you watch wrestling, because they all get re-energized anyway. So it's the stupidest. We'll get. I know everybody gets their rocks off on War Games, but I'm not the biggest fan. But this is
the best Survivor Series ever is the one where Dolph Ziggler was the sole survivor and Sting debuted. That's my favorite one.
Oh, that is a good one. Yes, sir. Oh, Dolph, he's got all the best moments. But all right, we got to get this party started. Yeah. So we're gonna have Shooting Star today go over it. That SmackDown happened. It happened, but so we're gonna talk about 3 different things on SmackDown, and I'll let Shooting Star lead them. So, Shooting Star, what are we talking about on SmackDown today?
So we'll start with the promo of the century from one Santos Esobar. He cut a promo probably about the 30-45 minute mark of SmackDown, talking all about why he turned on Rey Mysterio last week. And this promo was we were talking about it before the show started, but it was kind of a weird way to turn him heel, because why not just turn him at Crown Jewel then? If he felt this way this whole time about Rey Mysterio, why not just turn him at the pay-per-view? Did they ever resolve the mystery of the century? Is not, did Trick Williams get who attacked Trick Williams backstage? The mystery of the century is, did Santos Esobar leave those brass knuckles in the ring on purpose for Logan Paul to take advantage of? And it feels like they've kind of gone away from that. They're not even talking about that anymore. Rey Mysterio's on the shelf with a legit knee injury, and he's having surgery. And Santos Esobar even said he hopes he never walks again. One thing he did say in the promo was that Dominik was right this whole time. And we've been saying this, that Rey is a deadbeat father, and Rey Santos should be U.S. champion. Rey chose to go in for that. Santos wanted to start the LWO, and Rey added new members without talking to anybody. And so, Dominik's been right this whole time about Rey. But yeah, it was a cool promo. Zelina slapped the shit out of him, and after his promo, and he beat up the two other guys in the LWO. So it looks like that whole faction is completely done, or Santos is just the odd man out now, and they're going to continue going. But it was an interesting promo. I wouldn't say it was bad. I don't think it was great, but it was just an interesting promo, and we'll see what they do. We'll see what happens. And now it's leading to Carlito versus Santos Escobar at Survivor Series. So we'll see what happens.
Is that a real LWO tattoo on his hand, or was that fake?
It looked like it. Yeah, I think it's real. If he got LWO on his hand,
the other guy had an LWO tattoo because they were like fighting over it. So I was like, wait, these guys got LWO tattoos, now they're breaking them up. That sucks.
Does he have an LWO tattoo? I bet he doesn't. I bet he doesn't, and yet he's the leader.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I know how they feel. I had my ex-wife tattooed on me, and now we're divorced, so that's all. You make choices in life, and you got to stick with them. So I have that LWO tattoo, Santos Escobar. Here's the thing, right? Number one, he came out to his old music, the Delgado, whatever, fantastical music. So he did kind of just get rid of LWO. So here's my thing: I feel like all of this was like changed. I don't think this was the way they were going. Did Rey get injured in Logan's match, or did he get injured afterwards? Right, like that's where I'm kind of wondering if all of this sudden just like vicious heel turn now is because of that, because he's gone, and so they're just gonna run with it. I was trying to figure that out, because if not, I don't know what the heck Triple H was thinking, not booking him to just hit him with the brass knucks and have Logan Paul win. Why have Logan Paul do it? Why have the manager that nobody knew came out? Unless, like, if you were going to full heel, because, he made remarks of, like you said, like, the only thing he apologizes for is not hurting him worse, and not, and even the beatdown wasn't that bad. He went from like accidentally dropping the knucks to kind of like, you pushed me, so now I'm mad at you, to no, fam, LWO's dead. I want to kill you, and you never can walk again. Dominik's right. I mean, he's like either schizo or, bipolar, or he's just like all of us. I don't know what's going on. So I didn't mind him. His promo was good. I actually kind of like Santos Escobar. I always have. I think he has good promo. I think the promo was good. Just how the promo, what was in the context was bad.
Yeah.
And even Selena walking out was really awkward. I was like, why that? For one, she's a criminy. Is she hot? But she's like, what? She's gorgeous. She ain't hot. She's like gorgeous. She's just like a perfect specimen.
Yeah,
she is, and she's just like walking out like all sorts of delicious, and slaps him. And I was kind of like, huh? And then she cried. I didn't think it was that, like, he was cutting that bad of a promo, like that she like slapped him and cried over it. I don't know. It was like you said, it's just the context of it. But the delivery, Santos Escobar, I feel like he can hang on his own, and it worked for Dominik. So maybe it'll work for Santos, kind of turning on Rey when he gets back. So
yeah,
time will tell.
It kind of reminded me a little bit of AEW, Jack Perry when he first turned heel. He was kind of all over the place too, and then it took a while for him to really settle in and establish that character and get more comfortable as a heel, because you can tell Santos wants to be a good guy. And like this heel change is something that he's not used to, something that I don't know how he feels about it, but he started getting more and more comfortable as the promo went on. But at first he was coming across a little flat. And so hopefully we'll see more of it going forward. I'm kind of excited about this match with Carlito, but Santos better get the win. That's for sure.
Well, that's Carlito's here to job, but Santos looks like a heel, though. He just looks like a douchebag. I mean, I don't know if he is in real life, but he looks like it, so it fits him well. All right, number 2.
So the other thing, let's go to LA Knight / Solo Sikoa, and the promo. Solo Sikoa had the biggest victory of his career at Crown Jewel when he silenced John Cena. Now you can't see him, and now you can't hear him. And that's pretty much the gist of what Paul Heyman was saying in his promo. It was just a Paul Heyman promo. Solo didn't say a word. He just stood there, and Jimmy Uso was there to point to Solo every time Paul Heyman said, and that's all because of Solo. He was singing his praises, talking about how John Cena he didn't have the heart to say goodbye to the C Nation. He didn't, he's all about hustle, loyalty, and respect, but because of Solo, he doesn't have a voice. They even did like a fake introduction of John Cena, and then he said, John Cena, who is not here tonight. And it's all because of Solo. So, it was a typical Paul Heyman hype promo. It was the typical Paul Heyman get after it promo. And, I would run through a wall if Paul Heyman was my manager. I'd run through a wall with that man. It was enough to get you amped. And then LA Knight comes out, and he's the same old LA Knight character that he is. He basically says that the only reason that he's not WWE champion is because of the bloodline. And then he's talking more and more just about everything that happened at Crown Jewel, how he's not done with Roman Reigns, how he's going to come after the bloodline, whether John Cena's here or not. And, then they start fighting, and then Cody Rhodes comes out. Cody Rhodes, who's on Monday Night Raw. And there's a brand split, and we have general managers now of Raw and SmackDown. And the last time a Raw superstar came over to SmackDown was Jey Uso, and he got escorted out of the building by security, and Adam Pearce said, let the games begin. But Cody Rhodes comes out, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And, him and LA Knight, he kind of teased that LA Knight was going to be the fifth man in the War Games match at Survivor Series. That's kind of what they were hinting at. They're also teasing, I guess, their way of teasing Cody versus Roman in the future. But this whole segment was weird. It was bad. It just fell flat for me. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Why was Cody Rhodes there?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't get a lot of this. For one, I had no idea that Solo Sikoa was responsible for the SAG and everything else, the protest stopping for the union, because that's why Cena's not wrestling today. It has nothing to do with Solo with the beatdown. But I mean, once again, Cena literally stated on Wrestling that he's only wrestling because SAG has the thing going on right now, and then all of a sudden now it's because Solo thumbed him to death. I mean, Heyman's gold, right? He can talk to anyone, but I just didn't like that we were having Solo speak beforehand, and then you didn't even have Solo get one word in, and then we interrupt with LA Knight again, and I just feel like between Judgment Day and Cody and the other Uso and Sami Zayn, it's like never ending. Now we're back on LA Knight. Are we just doing this so the bloodline doesn't seem like it's going to get stale until WrestleMania when we have Cody? Is LA Knight going to get cheated out again at one point, maybe at Rumble for the main event, and then Cody's going to step in to fight for his honor? Is that why they're pairing them up? I don't know.
But also,
this is the time to make Solo a star, not LA Knight and Cody is what I'm.
And it just kind of felt like, LA Knight just had the battle with Roman. LA Knight wants Roman Reigns. He wants another match with Roman Reigns. And out comes Cody Rhodes. He's like, "Hey guys, that's me. I'm gonna leapfrog you, and I'm gonna take your title shot against Roman Reigns. But let's team up and be friends."
Yeah. But are they? Because obviously we see what we're talking about on Raw.
I don't.
Disappeared.
What was the point? I don't understand what the point of that was. That was. Which we'll get into it.
But that's just, they got to have Cody on all teams. Cody's the new John Cena. I'm telling you, maybe that was what it was representing. But all right, let's get into your third thing.
All right, probably the last thing maybe, but we have a women's War Games matches going on, and SmackDown opened up with the 5 members now, I guess, of Damage Control, or it was the 4 members of Damage Control. And then they gave Asuka the shirt, and Asuka put it on, and now she's the 5th member, and she becomes the newest member of Damage Control. And it looked like that Bayley was going to be kicked out. She thought she was being kicked out of the group because somebody said, "Oh, not everyone's here in Damage Control," and it looked like they were going to turn on her. And then they gave Asuka the shirt; she puts it on, and then all 5 of them are in it. And then out comes, Charlotte Flair. Out comes. Bianca Belair and Shotzi, and they all fight, and then they're teasing that they're going to have, they want War Games. They want to do War Games against Damage Control, and but they have to have their 4th member, I guess, of the War Games match announced by the end of the night. So we go through the whole episode of SmackDown, and then we get to the last segment, and out comes Charlotte Flair, and she cuts a promo Bianca Belair comes out with her. Shotzi joins them, and they're talking about how they've made a phone call, and this is what made no sense. There was a segment, actually a backstage segment with Charlotte and Bianca, where she's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna have to make a phone call. I'm gonna have to do it. I'm gonna make it. It's gonna be a tough call, but I'm gonna have to do it." And Bianca's like, "Okay, make your call." And turns out the person that is joining Team Charlotte in War Games is none other than is it Jade Cargill? No. Is it a returning Liv Morgan? No. Is it Roxanne Perez, who's had her beef with Asuka on the NXT brand? No. Is it an NXT call-up? No. It's Becky Lynch. And you talk about deflating. I love Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is fantastic. She's a phenomenal wrestler. She's a phenomenal superstar. She might go down as one of the greatest women, maybe the greatest woman ever in professional wrestling. But this just felt talk about feeling forced. You have Cody Rhodes on every show. Now you're having Becky Lynch on every show. Are they trying to make her the female John Cena? Are they trying to make her the female Cody Rhodes? It was a complete deflating moment. She's on Raw. It doesn't make any sense. She has no beef with Damage Control. She's been feuding with NXT people over the last few months. She's still feuding with NXT people, as we saw on Monday Night Raw. She's going after Tegan Knox, and it just makes I don't understand why they made her the War Games person. And it makes no sense that the women's War Games match is 4-on-4 and the men's is 5-on-5. And the whole, I have to make a phone call. I thought the last time we saw, weren't Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair friends? So why does she have to go through Charlotte to get to Becky Lynch? Like, why couldn't Bianca Belair just call her? Because they teamed up at the end of SummerSlam last year to go after Damage Control when Damage Control debuted. Bianca's the reason Becky Lynch is a babyface again. So I don't know. I don't understand why they're doing this, but this really, when Becky Lynch showed up, I was just like, oh, okay.
Oh yeah. Well, and you're talking about why does Charlotte have to make the call? Don't forget that Becky Lynch showed up, no music, no nothing, just out of the crowd to show herself as the fourth member of their team, and then instantly got her butt kicked. And Charlotte and Io Sky both did the flips on everybody and stood tall, staring each other down. Not Becky Lynch. The person who just got called in was laying on the ground, motionless. It was all bizarre. That whole part was bizarre. I don't know if they thought there was like a replay going on, but they both did the flips and they stood there awkwardly. And then like Io Sky looked at the camera and then they started punching each other. I don't know if that was supposed to, like they were waiting for the crowd reaction or I don't know what happened, but the whole Damage Control. So yeah. And you talked about Damage Control. Are they all in? Does Dakota Kai speak Japanese? Is she Japanese? Because in that segment, there's the part where the three girls, the Japanese women, are all like talking ish about Bailey. It's like, you know, when you're like at work and there's somebody that speaks a different language and they're all talking in front of you and you're like awkwardly sitting there like, they're talking shit about me. Yeah. So they're all doing that. And Bailey felt that. And she was like, what did they say? And Dakota Kai was like, no. They just said that, you know, they're happy and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, Dakota Kai's Japanese or she speaks Japanese? Because why is Dakota Kai? I don't know. I think here's the thing. We know Io Sky, Asuka, their language is not that great. They don't cut the best promos when it comes to an American English-speaking promo, right? So I think them being in Damage Control is kind of awkward in the fact that Bailey is like the opposite. She's like a trash-talking, quick-talking, never shutting up type of girl. And I feel like it's kind of like that whole promo was like weird. I was like, are they in? And then when they got in, like Asuka's reaction was weird. Like I thought Asuka was going to go kind of more her old heel self. She was still kind of the, I'm Asuka, like happy. Go. I don't know. It's all feeling weird right now. And I wonder if it's just going to end at War Games when they lose anyway. I have no idea, but it was weird. The Becky return was weird. Everything about it was weird. And you're asking why there's only 4 of them compared to 5 like the men, because in WWE, women are inferior. So they can't have 5 in that match. There's no way they can do that. Not like us men. We chew tobacco and we spit like men. So you women, you can only have the 4 in your War Games match. It's probably going to be a smaller ring and it might be pink. All right. We've evolved a little bit in wrestling with women, but I'm just still saying there's a reason why. So, but anyway, nonetheless, but this all fades right into Raw, right? Because we literally had everybody on both shows. Shoot, even Nick Aldis was on Monday Night Raw this week.
Speaking of, he's completely useless, by the way. Like, I think Adam Pearce is more useful as a GM than Nick Aldis. I've sometimes forget that he's the GM of SmackDown.
I think that's why they had their beef at the end, right? Because it's kind of like, hey, dude, like you're making all these choices, and I'm just sitting here with my thumbs on. Even though he had the Street Profits win a tag team contenders match, so obviously he made anyway. But that's the one thing I am confused about now. So I'll get into that, but there's a positive too. But the tag team titles, they're all, both brands now. But now when you have two different GMs. Yeah, obviously that's going to make things work. At least they're acknowledging it. It looks like they're acknowledging it because both times they said like, well, what is Nick Aldis going to say? And he was kind of like, oh, well, it doesn't matter, or he'll be fine with it or whatever. And then they had their bump in. But I did want to talk about the tag team division. So we had some tag team women fighting over getting that title shot. Chelsea Green looking as good as ever, standing there and we had a number one contenders match. Oh, she is. The wrong women won. I don't know why Natalya and Tegan is going to be fighting for the tag team titles, but maybe they want Chelsea to continue to have it. But nonetheless, we had an important match. And then the men later on were all bickering and fighting and over a tag team title match. And they are going to have a match next week, which is kind of a fun one. I think they're having the one where they all have to eliminate each other, right? You start with two and they all enter. I think that's what they're doing, right? I think that's
tag team turmoil or whatever.
Turmoil, yeah. I think that's what it is, right? I don't think that's everyone at once. I think that's
it's like a gauntlet match, but all the tag teams.
Yeah. So
you pin somebody, the next team comes out. You beat them, the next
team comes out. Yeah. So I like it, and I liked it too because with everything that's going on with War Games. Back in the days, Vince McMahon wouldn't have had no time for no tag team titles. He'd get that out of my face. So I do like that at least, I want storylines. I think the tag team division needs feuds just like the single titles do. You know what I mean? I don't know why you can't build up a good feud. Obviously, AEW is struggling with that too, kind of, with MJF still defending his ROH titles all by himself. But we have, at least it's feeling important. It was brought on the show. It had time. It had segments. I'm here for it, and I like that Judgment Day is still defending their tag team titles, and I like that Chelsea and them are still defending theirs as well. So, and Piper, so it's nice to see them get that love. I'm all for it. I'm here for it.
Yeah,
I love the tag team divisions.
And the Street Profits got a big win over Pretty Deadly on SmackDown to become the number one contenders there. I'm happy to see this too. There's part of me that wants them to split the tag team titles. No more undisputed tag team championships. And the Judgment Day looks great with two belts around them. Like Finn Balor and Damian Priest look phenomenal with two belts. But I think it might be time to split the tag team titles so you can really, you can have your SmackDown tag team champions and you can have your Raw tag team champions. It just makes sense, and because you actually have a legit tag team division now, and you can really build it. And then maybe at Survivor Series, you can do not this year, but maybe next year, champion versus champion, Raw, you do brand versus brand or something. But I think it's time to split the tag team titles. And get new belts. It's either split them or get new belts. Got to do something.
I thought they were as soon as Judgment Day got them. I thought we were just waiting on that. I don't know what the heck's going on. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm in full agreement. Tag team wrestling is phenomenal. And once this War Game stuff is over with, I do hope Judgment Day focuses more on the tag team division.
Yeah, agreed.
So another big thing that happened on Monday Night Raw was Gunther kind of showing that he's a kind of a bully, and the Miz standing up to bullies. And I thought they had a cool little back and forth in their little hype promo for Survivor Series. But the Miz came out and was getting ready to cut a promo, and then he was interrupted rudely by Gunther, and Gunther came out and basically said that it's not that there's a lack of respect for you, it's that I have absolutely no respect for you. Which I was like, damn, that's a shot. And then he started just going in on the Miz, talking about how the Miz he shouldn't be here. And when he's nothing more than Mike Mizanin. He's an entertainer. He's not in this ring. You have to be a fighter. You have to be a wrestler. It's for fighting, and you can't do that. All you do is entertain. And the Miz was like, well, there's nothing wrong with that. That's what a lot of great people of the past, like then he started doing Macho Man Randy Savage. He talked about Shawn Michaels. He talked about other superstars of yesteryear that were there to be entertainers as well as wrestlers. And then Gunther, just continued bashing the Miz and all of his accomplishments and bashing his career and talking about how, the problem isn't that you were bullied in the past, because he brought up all the locker room issues the Miz had when he first joined the WWE, how the Miz had to, he couldn't change in the locker room. He had to go find a separate place to change because he got kicked out and yada, yada, yada. Gunther said this, not the problem that you were bullied. The problem is you weren't bullied enough, and I'm going to bully you now. And he started he mushed him. He shoved him a couple of times. He shoulder checked him. He threw his title down and told him to fight back. And the Miz did just that. The Miz fought back. He pushed back. He low blowed him with his foot. And it was probably one of the best fights I've seen between two sharply dressed men ever. They were both dressed to the nines in this brawl, and they both looked dapper in this fight. But no, I thought this promo did its justice and did what I'm amped for this match at Survivor Series. I want to see the Miz win. I don't think he's going to, but I want to see the Miz take the IC title from him because bullying has no place in the world. And but I think Miz is there to do his job, and that's put Gunther over and make him even more badass going into Royal Rumble season and WrestleMania season as well. But this promo was great. And I think, last week I was talking about how the Miz is a heel, or he's a baby face, and he's winning with heel tactics. So he did a heel tactic in this thing, but it was well deserved. And I like Michael Cole saying, "Do this for the weirdos, Miz. Do this for the weirdos." I thought this was all great. I thought this was entertaining as hell in a good way, and I can't wait for this match now.
Why they got to be weirdos? But here's the thing, right? So I liked it. Gunther is that dude. Gunther might be the best right now in all of wrestling. MJF. Well, I mean, they're there. Gunther is just that dude, and the Miz can promo and be in the ring with anybody. The end, and he shows that. It could be John Cena, The Rock, which he's shown. It could be Dolph Ziggler. It could be Gunther. It could be anyone. The Miz can do it. I like the bullying thing. He's already that bully. Gunther is bullying his Imperium the entire time. He's supposed to be that dictator type dude, you know what I mean, who runs things and sharpens the iron and blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's who he is. And I loved every second of this. I loved him literally bullying him. I love Miz being proud to be an entertainer because he entertains in the ring and out. I thought he was going to kind of take a shot at Chris Jericho there, and he didn't, saying I'm a sports entertainer, but he did. Yeah. He went the other route, saying that he can bring it in the ring and out of the ring. He brought up Macho Man. He brought up Mr. Perfect, Shawn Michaels, some of the best to ever do it. Brought up Bret Hart, and then who couldn't entertain a freaking anything. He's about as entertaining as a mop. But then, I mean, and then he got the comeuppance and hit him with the skull, crushing finale, and it was all as my son would say, it's all gravy. It was bussin'. It was it did its job. I'm excited for the match, and I'm excited for the Miz, win or lose. Good stuff. And Gunther's a star, dude. That dude needs to be fighting for the heavyweight championship already.
Yeah, and he's not bullying.
I'm glad he has the IC, but yeah.
He didn't just bully the Miz, too. He's bullying Kaiser now because Kaiser had his match with Johnny Gargano, and Vici showed up, and he wanted to prove that he could win without Vici, and he lost. And, now he's going after Ludwig Kaiser backstage and, praising the likes of Giovanni Vici for doing whatever it takes. It's pretty entertaining and pretty fun stuff. So I like this extra dynamic of Gunther that we're getting.
I agree. And I can't go a week without talking about men's bodies, but holy cow, Gunther, just thinking about him as Walter to now, in that skin tight suit, this dude is but look how much scary he is now. He was scary as Walter, sure, in this, but he's just, he looks like a star. I'm sorry. I know that's mean, but he just looks like he looks like $1 million. That dude, and just everything he does is perfect. Now I want to talk. We've been talking too much positives. I got to talk about something that isn't so positive. And we've talked about the universe of NXT and WWE and how they kind of ignored them with Johnny Gargano and Dirty Dom, and that, what happens on Raw or SmackDown doesn't have to happen on NXT. But last night on Raw, they talked about two things that did. They brought up NXT. So we had Chad Gable wrestling Shinsuke Nakamura, fresh off of Shinsuke's promo about some guy, I guess. But don't worry, we had no follow-up on it, so who cares? They wrestled, and then we had Becky Lynch fresh off her random acceptance. Why not have her fight Xia Li, right? So
That's
Xia
what it
Li,
was. Yeah, not Tegan Knox.
Yeah. Xia Li is wrestling tonight for the NXT Women's Championship at Valkyrie, and Chad Gable is fighting tonight for the NXT Heritage Cup. So what should we do with these two guys the night before? Let's have them lose in matches. And once again, I don't get it. Like, why even you couldn't have, like, why is Shinsuke fighting Chad? Like, I get there's like a little, but he just cut a whole promo about some. Why not just have him keep cutting these weird promos unless he did it for no reason and they just squashed it? But to have Chad Gable should not be losing right now, period. I feel like everybody in Alpha Academy is losing, and they're legit. They're one of the most over people right now, and they're just having a job every week. But the fact that Xia Li, shouldn't she just return? Isn't she just making her comeback and she's losing already? Why would I think either of them are going to win tonight? And if they do, all it does is make the NXT look even weaker than they should, a la a main event at Full Gear. It's like you can't just have somebody lose and then I don't know. I was just very confused by this. Do you think it matters? Am I getting too much into this? Does the NXT universe not give two rats? I mean, I'm assuming anyone who watches NXT 100%.
You would think, yeah.
watches Raw and SmackDown. There's nobody who watches NXT who doesn't watch Raw and SmackDown. But I'd say about 50% of the people who watch Raw and SmackDown don't watch NXT. I would say it's that hard. I think it's that bad. So, I mean, it's just kind of a weird thing to me. Like, I don't know. I feel like you would want those people on Raw to tune into it by having Chad Gable maybe sneaking a win on Shinsuke or whoever he's going to wrestle. And then maybe you'd be like, hey, maybe Chad's going to win a title match tomorrow. Maybe I should tune in to NXT and check it out. But no, they did not do that.
If you're going to have him lose because the person from NXT that he's wrestling cost him the match or something,
get a rub.
Do something like that. And that way you keep Chad Gable looking strong, you make Shinsuke look strong, and you make your who's he wrestling? It's not Noam Dar. It's
he's still the champion. Noam Dar still the champion.
So it's
he's good. He's a star too. So have him come out.
Have him get a rub, and you're bringing everybody up to the NXT from NXT to the main roster anyway. But no, I don't think you're off on this. I think this is it's a glaring problem. I mean, you have Tozawa on the Raw roster, and he is looked at as a joke. He's looked at as a comedy gimmick. He's looked at, we saw him he grabbed the Detroit Lions title belt and was doing the New Day dance when Adam Pearce announced Tag Team Turmoil next week on Raw.
That's his back-to-back weeks he's done that, right?
Yeah. But then, on NXT, he's like having legit matches for the Heritage Cup, and like he's going the distance with people like Noam Dar and other people. And, I think he wrestled Pete Dunne a couple of times too, and I'm just Butch. So it's a completely different universe, and they need to. I don't like it when they have people lose that are wrestling on NXT. It makes the brand feel obsolete and completely.
I agree.
Pointless.
I agree. I agree. All right, I know what you're going to end it with.
Yeah,
like there's voices in your head.
They're call. What is this? I hear voices.
They talk to me.
They talk to
right?
They understand. It's that's what we're getting at War Games. So all night long, and this is what bugged me. So all night long, we opened up with a heel promo from Drew McIntyre, which I thought was fire. I thought it was a good way to introduce him. He did say he's not joining the Judgment Day. And he's just going to be helping them out. He doesn't like the Judgment Day. He made that perfectly clear backstage with Damian Priest. I think they're going to kick Damian Priest out, and Drew McIntyre is going to end up joining.
I think so.
But they all night long, Seth Rollins says he had somebody that he was going to call. Sami Zayn said he had somebody that he was going to call, and Cody Rhodes had somebody that he was going to call. Jey Uso didn't have nobody. He was like, I got my family don't like me. I'm not calling anybody.
He has no friends.
Yeah, but so what would have happened if Seth Rollins' person and Sami Zayn's person all said yes, as well as Cody Rhodes' person, because right before the main event, Sami Zayn, Cody Rhodes, and Seth, they all met backstage, and they said, Cody was like, "Hey, have you heard from your guy?" And Sami Zayn was like, "Nope, it's not going to work out." "Yeah, mine either," said Seth. And Cody was like, "Oh, well, mine's in." And everyone's like, "Oh, yeah, he's in." And nobody knew who he was. And
I think they did, though, right? I mean, it was Kevin Owens, obviously, was Sammy's guy, right?
Yeah,
I don't know,
which like
was
that would have
Seth's
made
guy
sense.
Becky Lynch. She already signed up for one.
Preoccupied. Yeah. I'm sure maybe Seth was Kevin Owens too, because him and KO were friends. But
yeah, they had the same guy.
Yeah, your guy was my guy, and I did like that they kind of righted their little wrong from having Becky Lynch added to the War Games match by saying that Nick Aldis is allowing SmackDown superstars to be a part of War Games too. So I feel like that was kind of their cop out way of why they put Becky Lynch in that. But anyway. Drew McIntyre and Jey Uso have a match for the War Games advantage, and surprise, surprise, Jey Uso takes yet another loss. You talk about building a guy as main event Jey Uso. How many times has he taken pins? How many times has he lost? It's quite a bit. He loses almost all the time. I don't think he's won a singles match.
No, and he loses clean. Like,
yeah,
but so does his brother. So
yeah,
I mean,
but
just losing.
But that kind of makes sense. Yeah, but
he's a heel. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, but Jay is like the main event star now, and he's losing these matches. But anyway, they don't have the advantage. Cody Rhodes comes out and with Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn, they fight off the Judgment Day, and Cody Rhodes grabs the microphone and essentially says that his person is in, and you may know him.
City, dude. It was Pun City.
I have somebody I have a legacy with, and he's the apex predator, and he hears voices in his head, and
I don't think he said that one, but it was something. Yeah,
yeah. But the fans were chanting Randy, 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 and he said, "Yep, you heard him. The audience is right." So Cody Rhodes never purposely said his name, and then that's it. That's how the show ends. They don't bring Randy Orton out. They don't say Randy Orton is in the match at Survivor Series. That's just how they left us hanging, was the announcement that really just a disappointing way to bring back Randy Orton. Now,
I agree.
I will say I really like Jey Uso's facial expressions, because when he was saying the apex predator and the guy he has a legacy with, Jey Uso kind of looked a little shocked and like almost a little scared, because the last time we saw Randy Orton, he was getting written off TV by a brutal beatdown from Jey and Jimmy Uso. So,
unlike Drew, they actually
beat him down and wrote him off TV. Drew was on TV the next week. So shut up, Drew.
Yeah.
But this whole thing was it was a weird way to bring Randy Orton back to WWE TV. They didn't even bring him on to at least have him come out, play his music, do something. But I get you want that Chicago style pop, but this isn't the way to do it. I would have brought him out and even the score. But I also don't think I said it last week. I don't think Randy Orton should be in War Games. It makes no sense with the story. He has no history with Judgment Day, and we want this to be the end of Judgment Day versus Team Cody. And feels like with Randy there, maybe it's going to continue, because he's got to have his history with the Judgment Day. They got to make multiple, and it tells me that Judgment Day is going to lose, because Randy Orton's not losing his first match back. So that's that was how they announced it. I just did not like it.
Yeah, it was not a bad ending, but it wasn't a good ending, and I hated the puns. That was so stupid. Why don't you just say Randy Orton? And didn't Nick Aldis just do this on SmackDown? He was like, "You guys have to decide who your fourth member is by the end of the show," and Adam Pearce was like, "Yeah, you guys too by the end of the show.
You have until 9:00 tonight, to figure out who's going to be in the match for the advantage." Yeah,
back to back, same segment, and I mean, rumor has it's because they thought Chicago would steal the show or take over and blah blah blah, because they wanted CM Punk and it'd be hinting at CM Punk. Nobody thought it was CM Punk. Get out of here. CM Punk will return at Rumble. He's not going to return at the Survivor Series War Games.
I think he's going back to AEW.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, he might be, because we're never going to find out who the dang devil is. But anyway, so we It's Adam Cole, baby. But they literally like, yeah. Here's the thing. I like surprises, but not everything has to be a surprise. And sometimes that works. And I forget when WWE just did it, but they just did one where they announced the guy beforehand and everybody was like, boo. And then he still got a humongous pop. I forgot who it was. Maybe it was the return of Cody Rhodes. I forget what it was. But nonetheless, you can do that. Randy's still going to get a huge pop. Now you have your things all set in and your P's and Q's, everything's in place. But then you have to have him appear on Raw. That was my only thing. And like you said, they didn't even say it was Randy Orton. So if you were just like a random kid half paying attention, you probably missed it. And then they announced it like on WWE.com like afterwards that, oh yeah, Randy's in. He's the 5th member. It was announced. I'm like, but it wasn't announced. You just kind of like... That'd be like me being like, yeah, I'm gonna have a nightmare this week, and he's gonna be Cena Jr. and blah blah blah. He used to AEW it up one time, but it didn't. Like, just say why didn't he just say my buddy Randy Orton? I don't know. Nonetheless, yeah, I thought it was a miss. I thought it was a misintroduction, and was Randy too busy to come out? Like, did they not want him to be seen? They could have just put him on the Tron, something like you said, play the music and the show with just his music, anything. I don't know. I didn't like it.
Not a good way to bring him back after 18 months. I'm happy to see Randy Orton back.
100%. We need him. Yeah,
he's
phenomenal.
He's fantastic, but I don't want him in this match, and this was not the way to bring him back.
I agree. And he's going to be the last one entering anyway. But
yeah,
all right. It's about time. That's a recap. Sorry, we're not doing NXT today. We have Thanksgiving plans coming up. So we're doing everything today on Tuesday. So NXT, check it out anyway. I'm excited for it. I'm still going to watch it, obviously. But no recaps from us this week, which means we're going straight into our segment. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Ready?
You know what time it is, right?
Heck yeah, I do.
Prediction time. Before it ever happens, it's a prediction. Lean in close, take notes, listen. Cause they about to point it out quickly. All the things that you didn't see is getting called like plays at the line of scrimmage. You can take it to the bank, the dudes ain't tripping. They've been seeing what's coming for a good minute. It's prediction time, yeah, let's get it.
Getting called like plays at the line of scrimmage. Hot damn. Good line. All right. It's prediction time, y'all. Survivor Series War Games. Created by Dusty Rhodes himself and his son, first time ever in his things. I'm sure that'll get emotional for our American Nightmare, Mr. John Cena himself. So let's start bottom to the top. You ready? All right. First match, Carlito. He spits in the face. He doesn't do that anymore. Versus the maybe new partner of Judgment Day, Santos Esobar. Who you got?
Santos is going to win this all day long. He needs to establish his character as the heel that he is. He needs to win.
Zero reason Carlito wins this match. I'm going Santos Esobar. All right, we have the Women's World Championship match. The beautiful, the gorgeous, the super uber talented Rhea Ripley versus a not too bad herself, cute little booty, Zoe Stark. Who you got? Zoe Stark, Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley. I think she's gonna win this. There's no reason for Zoe Stark to take the belt off of her now. Maybe in the future, but not right now.
Yeah, Rhea Ripley's gonna have a Roman Reigns type title reign, but this is good for Zoe Stark. It's only gonna help her, and I like the build up so far. They've made her feel like a threat, so I'm all for it.
Yeah, I like that little invasion they had in the Judgment Day Club. Yeah, that was awesome.
It was. All right. WWE Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship match. Gunther versus Mike the Miz Mizana. Who you got? You got the Miz or Gunther?
This was actually,
I like it.
Yeah, this is it's actually hard because I want the Miz to win because of Ludwig Kaiser. I think Kaiser finally snaps and cost Gunther the IC championship, but I still think it's too soon to take the IC title off of Gunther, and so I think Gunther wins, but eventually Kaiser's going to turn on him, and that's going to be the reason that he drops that belt.
So I was going to say the Miz until Raw. It's 100%. Miz got the comeuppance on Gunther to end it. So Gunther is going to win, and I think that'll lead to Gunther versus
I could see
Homeboy later on.
I could see Kaiser coming out and beating up the Miz, and that's how Gunther gets the win. And instead of thanking him, Gunther's mad that he's like, you stuck your nose where it didn't belong, and he's going after him that way. So
I agree. All right. Last two matches. You ready? The women's War Games match. Supposedly, the advantage is going to be determined by a fan vote.
I don't.
Why is that? And who's going to vote?
Who's voting?
Control? Yeah. Anyway,
I know.
So we have. It
would be funny if
real. Is that real?
I think it is. I saw that too. It would be funny as hell if Damage Control got all the votes, but WWE was like, no. We need the baby faces to do it. So yeah. There was a glitch. Glitch.
So we got Damage Control. You know who's in Damage Control versus Bianca, Charlotte, Shotzi, and the man, Becky Lynch. Should have done double duty this week. Who you got?
Team Bianca and Charlotte, Shotzi, and Becky Lynch. I want Damage Control to win, but I feel like this is Bayley's losing control of her faction, and she doesn't even know it. And I think this is going to be their way of they're going to lose, and they're going to snap, and they're going to kick Bayley out. And they're going to blame Bayley.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know, probably Charlotte pinning Becky.
Yeah.
Or Charlotte, not Becky, Charlotte pinning Bayley. And hopefully we go back to hugger Bayley. She did bring that up. She doesn't hug anymore. Maybe we're going to get, babyface. Obviously. If she gets kicked out, she's a babyface. So, and I would love a hug from Bayley. All right.
You wouldn't.
Man, oh my goodness. I'd have to control my hands. All right. Men's War Games match. We have Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins, and the Apex Predator, his friend from Legacy. Versus the Judgment Day and Drew McIntyre. Who you got? And Judgment Day has the advantage.
Which this is the advantage is so
start
pointless.
With two, right? Well, they start 1-on-1, but they're the first one out. Yeah, so they'll be 2-on-1 at some point.
So I think Cody Rhodes. You're not bringing Randy Orton back just to lose. So I think Randy Orton is going to win. I think he's going to get the pinfall on JD McDonough. But afterwards, I think he either RKOs Jey Uso or he RKOs Cody Rhodes. And that's the feud we get going into Royal Rumble, Cody versus Randy.
All right. I'm kind of where you're at, but I'm switching it up. I'm going Judgment Day and Drew McIntyre win. I think Judgment Day bickers throughout this match, throughout the War Games match internally. I think they're going to bicker through it all. But I think Jey Uso made that face on purpose. I don't think that was real. I think that was planned, scripted. I got Randy Orton whooping butt and doing it all, but Randy Orton's going to Randy Orton, and he's going to RKO Jey Uso, which leads to Drew McIntyre pinning Jey Uso, getting the revenge that he wanted, and he talked about it the entire Raw. I think that's how it's going to go. I go Drew McIntyre pinning Jey after RKO. A turn. I think Randy Orton's better as a heel. So
he needs to be a heel.
Cost them. It'll end in boos. Judgment Day will reign victor. Judgment Day has to reign on top. So
now, is there a return / debut of one Phil Brooks at this event in Chicago? Does he come out at all?
Nah. If there was like a Seth Rollins match, like a title match, maybe, but.
Yeah, Shinsuke's been teasing something about wrestling, and I keep thinking maybe he could do that, but I thought Randy Orton made more sense for that. And then the other question I have before we end it, does Damian Priest cash in Money in the Bank after this match?
See, so that's what I think is going to happen. That's what I think. I'm still hoping it happens, but I've been hoping at every premium live event, and it hasn't yet. But I'm going to go. I think he is going to pin Seth here and win, and that's going to kind of, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It all depends on Drew. I don't know what's going on. If he's, leaving, staying, turning heel.
Is Damian done in Judgment Day? Yeah. So
that's what I mean. So
we'll see.
But I do. I think I think that would make War Games feel special, is if Damian does cash in, because they can all leave once they lift the cage, and then Damian could bank them because Seth is defeated or beat up or whatever. So yeah, I think so. I think so. All right. That was our Thanksgiving WWE edition. It was short. It was quick, just like my love life. but we got to the point, y'all, just like my love life. So, as
There you
always,
go.
we want to wish y'all a happy Thanksgiving. If you don't celebrate, then a happy holiday. Enjoy your Thursday and Friday. Then enjoy some wine and some football. Whatever you're doing, be safe, have fun. We'll be back to normal times next week. As always, I'm the dude of Russell Talk, Mr. MWO. Keep subscribing. Our YouTube is starting to blow up again. I'll get back on those TikToks. I swear it's been a busy week.
Yeah.
And with me as always is that man. What's his name?
His name is Shooting Star Press, and don't y'all forget it. But go join us. Go subscribe on YouTube. Like he said, at Two Dudes with Attitudes. We're on TikTok, so go follow us there. At Two Dudes with Attitudes over there. And as always, go rate us and review us on Apple and Spotify, anywhere you get your podcast, because we think we're doing a good job, but we want to hear from y'all. So bring it on.
Let us know. Two Dudes Wolfpack. We out.
Two dudes with attitudes, let's go. Welcome to the pod every Wednesday, back to represent. Two